Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, it was standing room only as hundreds gathered to hear the latest on ExxonMobil's refinery investigation. We'll take you there.
Plus, a local park renovation project is finally complete.
Then, is your home prepared for El Nino storms coming our way?
And we'll give you details on the council's discussion on saving historic sites in the city.
These stories and much more just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. A federal agency reveals new findings about the ExxonMobil refinery explosion that happened last year in Torrance. Hundreds came out to hear the U.S. Chemical Safety Board talk about the preliminary findings and the future of ExxonMobil. Investigators and officials from agencies across California were present in council chambers. In February 2015, an explosion was caused by a leak from a fluid catalytic cracker unit. The cracker unit is an essential part used to make petroleum and turn it into a higher grade of gasoline. The investigation team spoke about the findings and how catastrophic the incident could have been and the timeline leading up to the incident. The key discussion was the topic of modified hydrofluoric acid and the impact it could have had.
Certainly in this range, if a cloud of HF were large enough and could affect neighboring communities, it could result in skin burns, damage to bones, respiratory systems if inhaled, longer-term debilitating permanent injury internally.
U.S. Congressman Ted Lieu, along with the CSB, says that multiple process safety management deficiencies contributed to the accident. The ExxonMobil refinery manager in Torrance publicly apologized for the events that happened and said their top priority is to keep their workers and community safe.
That it works, that the refinery operates safely. We have 1,000 people who work there who are very reliant upon the refinery for their income, their mortgages, feeding their children. And each of us as citizens are paying much more for gasoline while the refinery is not operating. So we're looking forward to the refinery getting up and operation again, but we wanted to make sure that it's in a safe way.
If you missed the meeting, you can watch it on YouTube/Torrance CitiCABLE.
And Los Angeles County faces its first no-burn order of the year. The South Coast Air Quality Management District issued the order for all residences in the South Coast Air Basin, including Torrance and the greater Los Angeles area. It's part of the Check Before You Burn program that helps to protect residents from pollution during the wintertime. Now, this type of restraint asks residents to stop burning any wood for 24 hours or more if need be, inside and outside their homes. CitiCABLE spoke with a spokesperson from the South Coast Air Quality Management District who says that the fine particle pollution gets worse due to wood burn, especially during stagnant weather conditions. The organization has a meteorologist who produces air quality forecasts daily. If high levels of fine particles are present, a no-burn order is issued. Officials say the Check Before You Burn season began in November 2015 and goes through the end of February. Last month, there were 3 orders placed. Reports found that fine particles in wood smoke can penetrate into lungs, causing respiratory disorders. To stay informed, residents can sign up to get their alerts by going to airalerts.org. Now, the City Council is moving forward with potential options that could save historic sites in Torrance. The much debated topic was brought to the table by the Community Development Department. The council decided to implement the urgent ordinance that would not allow any building permit to be issued if they fall into a historic site category. This would be in effect for 45 days. It excludes commercial and industrial buildings. They also approved the resource survey that examines the Torrance track area. The survey would help decide possible preservation areas and is the first step that was recommended for them to take.
I'm so happy that today we're finally getting to that point. And we're talking about preserving the history of our community.
Questions from the council?
Now, there's still a long way to go. Staff now needs to look into capital project funding before an actual historic preservation program is implemented. Before the meeting, the city did not have an ordinance in place to protect historic sites. Staff will prepare a plan for the Community Planning and Design Committee before it goes to council at a future date.
A local park makeover is finally complete for the Torrance community to enjoy. CitiCABLE was there for the unveiling.
On 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah!
City leaders and the community hosted a grand opening at McMaster, welcoming the new renovations. McMaster Park, located on Artesia Boulevard, is part of the North Torrance community. The project to renovate the park is a vision of the original comprehensive park library project, which was unsuccessful due to a lack of funding. The latest project included improvements on the Hermatillum Senior Center, North Torrance Community Center, and the park recreational buildings. Upgrades included a new paint job, installation of energy-efficient windows, lights, water-saving plumbing fixtures, and a new kitchen. The park entrance was also given a facelift.
All the areas for the children here and the seniors, it's just a great meeting point for the whole neighborhood. So this is really an exciting thing.
Families now have access to a brand new playground, picnic areas, and a basketball court. Before becoming a park, McMaster was used as a railroad right-of-way and was named after former Fire Chief John McMaster. The project was funded by the General Fund along with the Parks and Recreation Commission Open Space Fund.
Torrance residents kicked off conversations about what they want improved at their local parks. The city's Community Services Department hosted its first meeting at Victor Elementary School. The public forum focused on the North Torrance parks, and the Community Services Department Director John Jones says the event is an opportunity to encourage engagement with local residents on what changes they want to see. Now, the feedback is part of one of the largest park assessments in the country. Every city within Los Angeles County is being asked to conduct an assessment with all of their citizens to find out what needs to be done at local parks. The feedback will then be used for the November elections in order to receive funds for the projects.
Improving our parks improves the quality of life, and this is very important for us. We have been living in Torrance since 2000, so we plan on keep on living in this area for a very long time.
In each meeting, staff will also present the park improvements that are currently on the books. Once the city has a full list of options from the community, staff will ask residents to vote on their top options to develop a priority of park improvements. There will be 3 more workshops like this in the city. You can find the dates by contacting the Community Services Department at 310-618-2930.
With the first group of El Nino storms bringing heavy rains, it's never too late to prepare your home. Reporter Avisha Scarborough has tips from one family on what steps you should take.
With reports of El Nino bringing an exceptionally heavy rainy season this winter, the Hayes family is preparing early.
People should do it now before the rain hits, because when it does, you can imagine every roofer and rain gutter guy is not going to be able to be touched because they're going to be so overbooked. So you better just do it now, and a lot you can do yourself.
And indeed, the Hayes are doing a lot themselves. From clearing out the gutters to sealing their car windows, they're preparing for the worst.
I put together a little box. These are the boots I tromped around in our overflowing streets last December. And I've got some rope in case, someone's trapped in a car and the streets are flooded. You can throw them a line, and pump safety umbrella, my little rain poncho.
And they have good reason to be cautious. The last El Nino to affect California was in 1997 and provided many lessons.
We were on vacation, and it rained like the dickens while we were gone, and our roof had not had the leaves swept up, and it leaked all the way down into our bathroom, and it damaged the roof in there.
The city has been offering many resources to residents to help get prepared. Besides giving out sandbags, they've also given out these rain barrels, which are easily hooked up to your gutters and are a great way to capture water.
You can't drink the water that you collect from the rain, but we can use it to water our flowers. So that is going to be a fabulous addition as far as helping out with the drought and whatnot.
And if El Nino doesn't bring heavy rains, well, Debbie says it can't hurt to have clean gutters and roofs anyways. For Torrance CitiCABLE, this is Avisha Scarborough.
Thanks, Avisha. The California Coastal Commission recommends inspecting your whole property for signs of trouble. You can find a checklist at coastal.ca.gov.
And we can't forget that our beautiful home landscaping can also be protected from the El Nino rains. Torrance CitiCABLE reporter Tao Cha has tips from local experts.
Homeowners have a lot on their plate this season. Between California's historic drought and the forecast of El Nino sticking around until spring, the experts here at Armstrong Garden Center say this is the best time to plant. But unlike most seasons, with El Nino officially here, they say adjusting how you plant, like covering any areas that have exposed soil, will be key to protecting your lawn.
You have a heavy place where it runs off either your roof or an area of your yard. You can protect it by putting gravel down, so again it percolates through rather than rushing off. Stones and stepping stones also can help direct water.
And if you're going to plant, opt for the larger plants. While they cost more, they're less likely to wash away. And those drought-tolerant plants you've been planting all summer, well, they're also great for the heavy rains.
Once you plant them and they are secure in the ground, they are great at keeping portions of your yard stable if you're worried about erosion control.
And if you're planting on a hill or a slope, it's important to get this. It's chute netting. You simply lay it on the ground, make a hole, put your plant inside, and it should keep your soil in place. If you already have an established lawn, keep it that way. Even shrubs, bushes, and grass that die. Instead, clean the old plants after the El Nino season has passed.
The lawn is going to act sort of like a sponge. If you take that off, it has the potential to wash away.
Most importantly, pay attention to your larger trees. With record-breaking strong winds and rain on the way, now is the time to prune.
Pruning is one thing that you can do to minimize some of the dangers that these big storms could have.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Tao Ta.
Thanks, Chow. Experts also say to be mindful of the types of plants you choose and where you plant them. And later in the show, CitiCABLE reporter Jesse Pierre speaks with a local farmer's insurance agent to find out the best way to protect your home.
And a local high school gym is up and running again. After a long renovation program, athletes were allowed to once again practice inside their main gym. Here's a picture posted by Torrance High School right after the gym floor was finished. The varsity boys basketball team took to the court to play a little scrimmage. 2 new scoreboards were also the latest additions to the campus.
And the city of Torrance announced the appointment of its newest fire chief. City Manager Leroy Jackson made the announcement this week appointing Martin Cerna as the new fire chief. Cerna started his career with the Torrance Fire Department in 1993 and has risen through the ranks, most recently serving as the city's fire marshal as well as the assistant fire chief. Cerna was chosen among 8 outstanding internal applicants. He will serve as the 9th fire chief for the city of Torrance. Well, still ahead, an annual luncheon reunites people with a common tie.
Plus, are you using your space heater properly to keep you warm? We'll give you safety tips.
But first, here's a look at your 5-day forecast.
Yep, he just made a mistake. There he goes.
Past and future exchange students from Torrance's Sister City Association Exchange Program came together for the annual alumni luncheon. Avisha Scarborough was there.
It's like having a brother that I've never had before, and it was a truly great experience to be able to be accompanied by someone wherever I went and whatever I was doing.
It's stories like these that have made the Kashiwa Exchange Program worthwhile for many students and families. And for the past 32 years, a small number of Torrance students have been a part of this unique experience. The annual Alumni Luncheon is a great chance to reminisce.
It's affected my life in immense ways. I can honestly say that I have a Japanese family now. I've already been back. I've already stayed with them again. It's just an amazing experience, and I would not trade it in for anything.
Even Mayor Patrick Fury had fond memories of his time visiting Torrance's sister city in Kashiwa, Japan.
They took me every place. We were, on a bus and going someplace. Didn't matter whether it was raining or sunny. They constantly kept us busy and active and showed us the true culture of the country. It was really a trip of a lifetime for me. I look forward to actually going back there again.
And for many, returning the favor by hosting a student from Kashiwa at their own home is just as rewarding.
I love hosting. It's so fun seeing the student interacting and getting to learn American culture. It's wonderful bringing someone into your family and seeing them enjoy America.
The luncheon was also a chance to introduce the 11 applicants who are hoping to be part of the group of 8 who will travel abroad later this year. I asked one candidate what she would do if she were selected.
I would be so excited. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably just cry. I'd be so happy. I probably wouldn't even sleep the night before. I'd probably just be like, I want to go now.
I'm wearing a traditional Japanese hoppy coat given each year to the selected students by the mayor of Kashiwa. And today, 11 applicants must eagerly wait to see if they'll get their chance to get this treasured gift. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Thanks, Avisha. The goal of the Torrance Sister City Association has been to promote international friendship, goodwill, and understanding between the two sister cities. The program launched in 1973 and has been a Torrance tradition ever since.
And having a proper home insurance policy in place can help save you money this El Nino season. Jessie Pierre tells us more.
Waiting to the last minute to get flood insurance is probably not the best idea.
If you came into me today and said, hey, I want to get flood insurance for my house, if you're closing escrow, it can start immediately the day escrow closes. Otherwise, there's a 30-day waiting period.
Insurance agent Mark Applegate says factors like the size of your home, how much coverage you need, and your flood zone all have an impact on your rate.
I punch in name and address. From the address, it does a search and it determines what the flood zone is.
Depending on where you live, you can be in low, moderate, or high-risk zones.
Overall, we're pretty good in Torrance. There's not very big flood zones or areas, but other areas, more outlying areas, you can have that issue, especially if you're near like some type of water runoff canal or something like that.
The standard homeowner's policy covers you up to a year and includes water damage, but not every incident is insured.
Some people may think they have, okay, I have water damage, so I'm covered for all types of water, which is not necessarily true. So flood, like I said, is excluded.
With an added flood insurance policy, you are covered for more than just a wave of water.
So if it's a wave of water and mud, dirt that have come on into your house, then that also would be considered flood damage.
Flood insurance covers your house and personal property up to $250,000. But it is just as important to know what you are not insured for.
If you had to live someplace else while your house is being repaired because of the flood damage, you're on your own.
And the phones won't stop ringing here at Mark Applegate's insurance agency as more residents prepare for El Nino.
Yes, basically a lot of customers are calling about flood insurance, and so they can get a quote. And I also advise them, if they are homeowners, to get a review on their policies to make sure they're up to date on all their coverages.
The best thing to do is just make sure you're informed. I mean, if you can't remember the last time you actually sat down with your insurance agent, then it's probably been too long.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Jessie Pierre.
Thanks, Jessie. Marky Applegate's insurance agency is located on 22925 Arlington Avenue in Torrance. You can also find him online at applegateins.com. Thanks to cities like Torrance, Los Angeles County has surpassed its tourism record for another year. The Tourism Board says 45.5 million people visited the region last year. This number is up nearly 3% from 2014. The tourism record took into account the 6.7 million international tourists, and the number from China grew by 13%. The mayor of Los Angeles is now shooting for a higher goal of 50 million visits by 2020. Torrance's economic development manager, Fran Fulton, says the latest lodging trend report shows that there has been a continual increase in the South Bay region of visitors, shown through the average daily rate for hotel rooms in the area.
A senior living center in Torrance is making its final touches on an 8-year project. Sunrise at Palos Verdes Senior Living Center, located on the corner of Hawthorne Boulevard and Rolling Hills Road, is finishing up construction. Floor plans show that residents will have various options of living, from companion, studio, 1-bedroom, and 2-bedroom suites. The facility will have 80 units with a capacity of 100 residents. Memory care, special programming, and assisted living services will be provided. The building will also have Wi-Fi and underground parking. Officials say they plan to unveil the structure to the public next month. Well, still ahead, are you using your heaters properly? We have tips from experts you won't want to miss.
Plus, we have an update on Jespa Awoma and his latest surgeries. Stay with us.
He taught me how to ride my bike.
He's the coach
For my baseball team.
They help me with my math homework. He holds my hand while we watch scary movies. Because the things he does helps all of us. Be alert, our parents are at work.
With the cold weather here to stay, many are turning on their heaters to keep them warm, but if not used properly, it could be dangerous. Reporter Avisha Scarborough has tips from Torrance's fire department.
As Southern Californians face unusually cold weather this season, space heaters are selling fast. But the National Fire Protection Association warns that space heaters are also one of the leading causes of home fires during the winter months. Fire prevention specialist Dan Cifuentes says a little bit of common sense can go a long way in preventing fires.
Space heaters, if you have them to any close proximity to a bed or clothing or furniture, then that radiant heat could then catch that piece of material on fire. So typically we say to keep at least 3 feet between the space heater and whatever combustibles are around it. Sometimes we're using these at night, right? So if someone's going to bed and they take off an article of clothing and they just throw it, and if they carelessly throw it and lands on the space heater, well, that's going to catch fire eventually.
Cifuentes says that when it comes to heating equipment, make sure that you don't use an outdoor heater in your home and choose your products wisely.
Make sure that it's either UL or FM approved, so Underwriters Laboratory or Factory Mutual approved. Those are testing laboratories that can, look at the space heater and test it, and if you have that stamp on it, you have a higher likelihood that it's safe. Space heaters that have an anti-shut-off or shut-off when it tips over, and an overheat protector.
Other common causes of home fires are from cigarettes, cooking, and playing with matches. Cifuentes suggests having a plan in place in case of an actual fire.
You can detail out what to do in the event of an emergency, in the event of a fire or an earthquake. Share that with every member in the home and then put it into practice. So that way you guys know, or where the family knows exactly what to do if there's a fire.
And with a good chance of El Nino lasting until spring, the need for space heaters is expected to last as well. So safety is key. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Avisha Scarborough.
Thanks, Avisha. For more information on fire safety, you can visit nfpa.org. Now, here are some events coming up this month you won't want to miss. The Southern California Regional Occupational Center is encouraging adults to enroll for the spring semester. Enrollment is currently open. The center offers more than 100 courses and helps people explore new career interests. You can go to socalrock.com to enroll. And soon you'll have a chance to grab the best deals on books. The Katie Geisert Civic Center Library is hosting a paperback book sale on January 23rd. Thousands of books will be up for grabs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, you can call 310-618-5950. And before we go, we have a sneak peek at the latest sports desk with Mr. Boom Sauce himself, Colin Kushner.
That's right, Colin. What do you have for us?
Thanks, Jin and Ben. Welcome to Boom Sauce Land, everyone. We have a jam-packed show once again. Pioneer League play is officially underway on the hardwood and pitch. It's the Torrance Civil War between the Saxons and Spartans, plus the West Warriors and Torrance Tatas also duking it out. And of course, I'll get you more highlights from hardwood, the pitch, and plenty more marinara sauce. Tune in at 4 and 9:30 p.m. right here on CitiCABLE. For all of this and so much more, Boom Sauce, Jin and Ben, back to you.
Thanks, Colin. Love your enthusiasm. Well, we've been following the journey of one young man from Cameroon, Africa, who arrived here in Torrance for a life-changing transformation. Burned as an infant, Jasper Awoma is calling his most recent surgery a miracle. Torrance City Cable reporter Hiba Samad has been following his story.
I don't think this one.
No, that's your hand, that one. That one's yours.
It's a moment Jasper Awoma has been waiting for.
I didn't believe that this would happen. That I can see my fingers just like this.
Just 3 months ago, Awoma's right arm, hand, and fingers were fused back. And without his right eyelid, Awoma has slept with his eyes open for the past 16 years after crawling into a fire pit as a baby.
I'm excited about everything that they did to me. My happy is happy day. This happy day is not.
Never forgetting this day, Awoma says his prayers have been answered. Thanks to Dr. Rice and his team at Torrance Memorial's Burn Unit, along with Plant a Seed organization and the Children's Burn Foundation, for the first time, Awoma saw his fingers.
It is a little turned, so we'll see what happens with therapy. I sort of cut all the bandages loose, and then he was taking them off himself. And once it was all off, he said, "Oh my God, this is fabulous!" It was just a big booming smile, and that was pretty nice.
His most recent surgery also rebuilt his eyelid and ear.
Miracle on me. I can play sport with my hand now. I can play basketball, baseball, ride Okada, even drive a car.
The Children's Burn Foundation is covering nearly $200,000 to cover Jasper's procedures, and the doctors are volunteering their time.
Literally, I don't think I've ever felt so excited in my whole life that I could barely stand on my own feet.
We're going to be doing this for days.
And getting used to using his right hand for the first time, Awoma plans to get better each day by thanking Dr. Rice with a handshake for changing his life.
I have nothing to give to them. Even I tried, I cannot pay them back. So I will just say thank you. I will just thank them very much. God bless them.
For Torrance City Cable, I'm Hiba Samad.
Thanks, Hiba. Jasper will undergo hand therapy for 3 months. We will continue to track his recovery and bring you the latest as they develop. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And I'm Jin Chun. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.